Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eddie, and I'm here to provide you with skincare knowledge, some mental health stuff, and just a little bit of me. So before we get into the video, I want to remind you to please click the subscribe button and also ping that notification bell so you are notified every time I do a new video. I try to do 2 videos a week. Okay, so into the topic of this video. Pimple patches. Yes, pimple patches. I love pimple patches. They're like the secret warrior for sucking up all that pus and getting rid of the horrible disaster that just happened, and now you can move on to fading it away. So many of us try to pummel our breakouts or blemishes with actives. You know, we try to pummel it with salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, lots of tea tree, sulfur, and as much as I love those ingredients and as much as effective they are, sometimes we just need to help our skin do its thing naturally. And the best way to do that, but also taking an action forward, is applying a pimple patch. The greatest thing about pimple patches is basically all they are hydrocolloid. Do these seem familiar? Yes, these are the Hydroseal blister heels. This is what you put on your blisters on your heels when you have new shoes or went for a really long hike. And these are basically the ones like you grew up with. They just come in a patch like that and you put it on your heel. And it's basically that ingredient, hydrocolloid. So basically there are 3 types of pimple patches. We have your regular pimple patches, just run-of-the-mill, with some run-of-the-mill that have extra skincare ingredients in them. We have large pimple patches that cover a wider area, so a whole cheek, a whole forehead, a whole nose. And those either come with just hydrocolloid or hydrocolloid infused with skincare ingredients. And third, MicroDart technology. So those are the 3 types of pimple patches that as of now I know exist, but also that I've personally tried. First up, regular pimple patches. So these are your run-of-the-mill round ones. So first up, it is the Clog. It's a brand by Sokoglam. These just come in 2 sizes, a little bit smaller ones for your small pimples, and a little bit bigger for those ones that are making their presence known. And these usually run like for around $5, $7, $10. And this is just run-of-the-mill, works fine. In my opinion, these particularly are really good. They really latch on well. I love Sokoglam, and I would definitely look into these if you want an effective, simple pimple patch that comes with 42 patches. And next, we have an affordable option by Sephora collection. It's their Clear Skin Days Pimple Patches. This comes with a whopping 96 patches. You heard me right. That's 4 from 100, in case you couldn't do math. But what's cool about these is they're run-of-the-mill, like regular size pimple patches. But additionally, they are also infused with tea tree and salicylic acid. Now, bear in mind, I don't know how effective skincare ingredients are within a patch. Like, I don't know how much they go into the skin and how much they actually do something. But in this case, the fact that it has tea tree just tells me that it's antibacterial in general. So even if it doesn't penetrate, at least the surface, it's making an antibacterial environment. So definitely check these out. I think they were $10 for 96. They stick well. I will say I wasn't wowed by them, but that is in my personal experience. Pimple patches are so personal because it really depends on the user. If you put it on dry skin, did you use a toner before? Maybe that's why it didn't stick well. How far along is the pimple? Did you put it on the moment that you needed a pimple patch? So pimple patches can be very, very varying in degrees of reviews. So personally, I think they're affordable. They're not going to damage your skin, and it doesn't hurt to try. So experiment. Try to figure out when in your skincare routine you need a pimple patch. And now up are the extra large pimple patches. These are my favorite, and they're fairly new. I mean, they're not even 2 weeks old yet. So first up is the Hero Cosmetics Mighty Patch surface. And pretty much these are pimple patches that are much larger, and so they cover a wide area. But they're more rectangular than patchy, which is why I think ergo the name surface. But in my experience, this one stuck well. It was practically invisible, and it comes with 10 patches for $17, whether on Amazon or through their website. So this one is a really good one. Oh, I dropped my other one. This one is a really good one. I really do like it. It does what it needs to do. It does it in such a elegant way where it's not embarrassing on your skin. It's almost invisible, and it sticks really well. And it's simple, no skincare ingredients, just to the point. And then for the Avarelle Acne Cover Patch Extra Large, this was much more cheaper. This was 8 patches opposed to 10. But it was for $10? No, this was $8. You got this for $8 for 8 patches. So practically like $1 a patch, plus tax. So this one, I've tried it already. I actually practically did a whole face mask of this. These are more patchy, they're actually bigger. And I ended up putting one on my cheek, one on the other, and one on my forehead, just to cover those breakouts that I got from my road trip that I'm still dealing with, but they're finally going down. And I have to thank Pimple Patches for helping suck up all that excess that I didn't want. So now I'm dealing with the texture and the hyperpigmentation and yada, yada, yada. But this one, actually, what makes it different from the other patch is that this is infused with tea tree and calendula oil and cica. So those 3 ingredients are going to work to, dry out the pimple, to soothe the pimple, and to prevent any more pigmentation from forming through the cica. And so this has those ingredients in there, so really take that into consideration if you want to go into this. I thought it actually was effective. I thought it created an environment that was less, it created an antibacterial environment through the tea tree and calendula and cica. And it didn't dry on my skin. I will say, these are cheaper and they do have skincare ingredients going for it. But here's my con with these. They ended up wrinkling on my skin, is the best way I can describe it. When I first put it on, it was practically invisible. It was nice, it was flat, straight. And after an hour, I looked in the mirror and I went, oh, wow, that's interesting. I thought it was kind of coming off, but it wasn't. It was just crinkling and wrinkling. It looked like one of those dogs, those pug dogs on my skin. And so it wasn't the prettiest. It wasn't that cute. And so I would recommend definitely do it at night. If you're not going to see anyone, you're going to be by yourself or right before going to bed. It's not the most elegant. But it did stick and it did stay overnight. So that, I will say that. It performs well, it's not as elegant. Now for the last category are MicroDart patches. Yes, we got your Killa patch and your Hyperfade patch. Killa patches are really primarily used to kill off the whitehead and underground pimples and get straight to the source. Excuse me. The Hyperfade patches are used for after the pimple's gone and you're dealing with the hyperpigmentation and all that horribleness. But what's really cool about these is they are patches. They stick well. They're in the size of the pimple, but they have micro darts that go into the skin and actually deliver those ingredients within the pimple. And you can actually feel the micro darts piercing into your skin. I know that sounds scary. You do feel them, but they don't hurt. The first time you're kind of like, whoa, okay, new feeling, never felt that before. But then when you're used to it, you're like, yay, I can't wait to feel those prickly things. I know, weird. But they do effectively put all those things in. What's so cool is that they have ingredients that are just so well known. They have tea tree, salicylic acid, they have oligopeptide, which is a peptide that helps heal your skin, niacinamide. I mean, they're filled to the brim with ingredients. Also has, and vitamin E. And the Killa patch actually comes with a little wipe that you wipe on the spots you're gonna apply the MicroDart, and it has some alcohol in it. So to effectively not only disinfect the area, but also make the area matte. So when you lay it down, it does effectively stick. So, you know, the pimple patch doesn't go to waste. You know, you put it on, then it falls off. That's like $5 you just lost. And speaking of which, these are fairly more expensive than the other options because of the MicroDart technology and the company. They run, I think, $29 for 8 patches for the Killa. So just keep that in mind. These are a little bit more expensive, but they do work. They are new technology, and there's other companies that use them. I haven't tried their MicroDart technology, but these are like the first guys that did it effectively. And then the Hyperfade patches are very similar, except they don't have that wipe to disinfect. So keep that in mind. Make sure to use this right after cleansing, before toning. And, you know, this one, opposed to the ingredients in the one in the Killa patch, this comes with sodium hyaluronate, niacinamide, comes with macadamia seed oil to soothe, vitamin C, arbutin, kojic acid, licorice root extract, and tranexamic acid. So those are all ingredients made to fade hyperpigmentation. So this one is, so far I used it twice in a row on a pimple right there, or a dark spot, and it did blur them. And that is the claim. It says MicroDart Blur Patch for dark spots. So it didn't like make it go away after 2 patches. It made them, you know, blur. So it did its job. So yes. So final review on these. Full disclosure, I did receive this in PR. I am on Zitsticka's PR list. So the question really is, after using them, would I use my own money to purchase it, now experiencing it? Now let's think about it. The final verdict is, yes, I would spend money on the Killa kit for the amount it is with a coupon. Now the Hyperfade, it's nice, it does do what it does, but I think I would much rather apply a toner with licorice root, vitamin C, arbutin in one go, opposed to one spot. But to each their own. Some people only have one pimple a year, and they want it to go away as soon as possible. So go for it if you want to. But to be honest, I think this would fit a lot more situational purposes, and it's a lot harder to get rid of an active pimple. So this one, both are beautiful, but I would personally spend my money on Killa Kit again. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I love pimple patches. I hope you guys love pimple patches. Let me know how much you like them, which pimple patches you used. Have you used any of these? Sound off below. Before you do that and the video ends, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the ping notification so you know every time I have a new video. Okay guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.